Hi there. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to replay viewers who are watching this later. If we haven't met, I'm Nancy Merland with Merland Marketing and Social Media. And I thought we would just take a few minutes and talk about what's up with LinkedIn live audio and video. And as you know, in the last couple years, you've probably noticed LinkedIn has been making some changes and some good changes. I mean, when Microsoft bought them in 2016, we kind of sat around and waited. Those of us who care maybe a little bit too much about the space, we cared a lot about the fact that Microsoft bought LinkedIn, and we kept waiting around for some changes and some innovation. And we didn't see it for the longest time, but now we are. And there have been several. And one of the two, really, of the most important are about LinkedIn live video and LinkedIn live audio events. And LinkedIn live video has been around for about 2 years. I got access in April of, this is 2022. I think I got access in April of 2020. For some reason, right after they opened up LinkedIn Live video, I applied. And again, like I said, for some reason, I was accepted. I don't know why, and or why that was so quick. And have been on, a handful several times and talked about various subjects and use a third party tool to do that. Right now, that is one of the requirements that you have to go live through a third party. Rumor has it that LinkedIn will find a way or is going to provide a way so that you can go directly live to LinkedIn from your camera, from your desktop with no third party intervention, if you will. But we don't see that yet. So for now, I'm using a third party tool. Everybody else I know is using a third party tool. But I've enjoyed it over the last couple of years. I've enjoyed attending several LinkedIn live videos. And what's interesting and what has changed in LinkedIn live video is that it used to be people would have to run into it in their news feed, or you could, if you knew you were going to do it in advance, you would just let people know. You would give them the link to your profile, and you would say, "Come find on LinkedIn." Particularly, you would come at 2 o'clock, and I'm going to be going live. Well, what's really nice is that I guess about a year ago, LinkedIn turned all live events, audio wasn't launched yet, but it applies to audio too. But video, they turned it into what LinkedIn calls an event. And you may remember that events, speaking of innovation on LinkedIn, events were launched in the last year or 2 years, 2 years probably. I don't, with COVID, my time frame is all messed up. But they launched events so that people could, and it started out as an in-person event feature, so that if you had events, you could invite people to them. And several of us said to LinkedIn, "Gosh, it would be really nice if you would open this up so that we could also promote virtual events," meaning whether we're doing it on LinkedIn or let's say we were doing it on Zoom, or we had another webinar platform. And I think LinkedIn figured out right about quarantine time that people needed to be able to use their online platform in that way. So we quickly saw this happen. So that must mean it was about 2 years ago. I do document a lot of dates on when things happen. That was not one of them. So I don't know the exact date, but they did open it up so that people could then promote LinkedIn live video events. And what's nice about that is that if you want to pre-schedule them, people can start to gather around your event, and and then there's a community tab, a networking tab where people can actually message back and forth. I have found those to be they get a little bit cluttered up at first, and people, like for big events that I've attended, and a lot of discussion, and then a little bit of spam starts. So um, that feature is there, but just so you know. And so LinkedIn live video, 2 years, I've had it for 2 years. I love the platform, love the third party tool that I use to do it. And I want to make sure I don't miss any comments. Let me make sure I have the comments tab up as well. Let me know if you're here, by the way. Or if you're on the replay, just put hashtag replay in so I know you're watching it. And I'd love to hear from you. But the reason I'm talking to you about this is that I want you to pay attention. And, I sound like a broken record, but for the past, I'd say 2, 3 years, I have been harping on audio and video, or what I call it. Hi, Mary. Well, hello, Mary Petruzzi. I've been harping on voice and video. And it's probably been 3 or 4 years actually. And when people ask me every year, gosh, what are your recommendations for 2020, 2021, 22? And I'm going to say the same thing in 23. What are your recommendations? What do you think is, what people pay attention to? You have heard me say, and I will probably continue to say, that you need to pay attention to voice and video. What does that mean? Well, that does not mean I'm not telling you to forego anything you're doing in writing. I think what you can do in the written word, or let's say on social media when you have written posts, I think that is still important. Blog posts, articles, what you can write on social media and other places. Still important. The written word helps people to see your intelligence. It helps them to understand how you think through a process. Although video does that too. You can watch my wheels turn while we're here. But when you add, this is what I consider an add-on. When you add on, let's go up the relationship continuum. Next, I would say when you add on audio, then all of a sudden you're letting people, and think podcasts, and we'll talk about live audio events here in just a second. When you let people hear your voice and your inflection, you all of a sudden become real to them. It's as if you're lifting yourself off the paper, whether that's real paper, digital paper, whatever it might be, and you are letting them get to know you even more and hear your voice. And like I said, get to know what you're like to do business with, or what you're like to interact with. And that tells people a lot. So you will continue to hear and see me say that I'm a big proponent of live audio. And we're going to revisit that here in just a second, because I want you to know about LinkedIn live audio events, which are brand new. So then when you go up that relationship continuum that I talk about so much, then we have video. And when you add video to the mix, this is one example. It happens to be live, but it doesn't have to be. I do a lot of pre-recorded video snippets as well, and upload them to various social media, as well as embed them in my blog posts every once in a while. But when you add video to the mix, then you truly have blended everything together. And that was a little redundant, blended and together, wasn't it? You have, I'm thinking too much. See, I think too much. You have blended everything. And people not only get to see you and hear you, and then get to read you and hear you, they all of a sudden get to see you. They see your mannerisms. They see if you're self-deprecating when you make a mistake. They see how you interact with somebody else if you're interviewing. And they also just get to see, because it's hard to fake it on video. You are what you are. Unless you are so schooled in being polished on the platform, people really get to know you. And, in professional services and legal marketing, we talk so much about any professional services. This is the same. Any services, really. This is the message. We want people to know, like, and trust you. And when you add audio and then video to the mix, that is where the knowing, liking, and trusting happens. Now, what happens if they don't like you? And that happens. What happens if you're watching this and you cannot stand me? It happens. Then at least they have figured out that you are not right for them. And isn't it better for you to know that, or them to know that early on, so that your and their time is not wasted? If you are not a good match, then why would you? What a shame to have to wait until you actually do get together with someone physically, in a physical space, in a meeting, for them to figure that out. So these are, who doesn't love you? Oh, I'm going to put that up on the screen, Mary, just because I love it. Who doesn't love you? Such great information. Oh, thank you. You are so sweet. Well, you're very kind. You just say that because you kind of feel like you have to. I love you too, my friend. It's really good to see you here. But so video's good because, and my friend Mary, who was just on, Mary, I'm going to show Mary again because I think she's wonderful. Mary is a very successful realtor in my area. I live in Indianapolis, and she's all over central Indiana, very successful. And Mary does video. When people see Mary on video, they know they like her. So it all of a sudden it accelerates the relationship building process so that when somebody sees Mary in person, all of a sudden they feel like they know her better. And the same goes for all of you, that when you use audio and all of a sudden, and this has happened too, when you do audio, whether it's LinkedIn Live audio events or it's a podcast or whatever it might be, and people hear your voice enough, all of a sudden when they when they hear you out in public, when we all, whoever, whatever your schedule is for going back in person to events, they will recognize your voice and they'll feel like they know you even though they haven't met you. So much of this, I talk frequently about that. All of this is about building your reputation and your relationships so that you can help more people or help the people that you're currently helping. And when you can actually feel familiar, more familiar to people, your chances of helping them are that much greater. So that relationship continuum, the written word, the spoken word, and then video. So again, you'll hear me say voice and video, voice and video. I want you to pay attention to it. So let's back up and talk a little bit about what's going on. So that's LinkedIn Live Video. Had it for a couple years, love it, think it's great. I do think it has application for every one of you listening. And if it's a matter of just not feeling comfortable with it, I mean, take me for an example. You don't have to have big, long presentations prepared. It's just you're getting on the platform just to talk to people and let people see that you can either curate content, you can teach, you can share knowledge, you can talk about recent developments, and it really doesn't take long to get up to speed. But I think it's very important because it's a differentiator. And you can go live across many platforms at once if you want to, but you don't have to. LinkedIn Live Audio. LinkedIn Live Audio is very exciting. Now, live audio you may be familiar with because you may have heard people talk about Clubhouse. You may have been on Clubhouse, and then Twitter Spaces, same thing. But what I want you to know is that I am more excited about LinkedIn Live Audio because this is where the majority of the people whom I serve hang out. Now, a lot of you are over on Facebook as well. Actually, you're across many platforms, but LinkedIn is the professional networking platform. So, in my mind, when I heard LinkedIn was going to launch audio events, live audio events, then of course I was excited. And what I want you to know is that, and Mary, I've got you stuck up here, not that that's a bad thing, is that it isn't right now. It's rolling out, and people are. I think maybe about 2,000 people have access to it, and to my knowledge, those are all people who have creator mode turned on their profiles. There are a lot of other things you may have been hearing about that people have to have creator mode turned on to get, and that's not all accurate. You don't have to have creator mode turned on to get your cover story or your audio recording or the featured section. So many things that you may be hearing about where people say, oh, you have to turn creator mode on to get those. Not necessarily true. And this is one, though, the audio feature that is not showing up when you don't have creator mode on. So I want you to think about that and what will happen, because LinkedIn, of course, will want to have a mass number of people on live audio at some point after the rollout, and after more and more people come and they give it to more in waves to more and more people, then they're going to open it up to more people who probably don't have creator mode turned on. Now, that's just my prediction, just because that's what we see. LinkedIn Live Video, LinkedIn Live, when I got it 2 years ago, there was nothing like creator mode to turn on. We just applied for it, and you either got accepted or you didn't. And so that's yes, yeah, I just got another. Let me know. It's telling me my connection is unstable. Now it says it's fairly good. Tell me if if you're having trouble with this. And I'm going to actually close down another browser just in case. And hang on. Now I have somebody else's video on, somebody else's audio on. All right, let me get back to my tab with you. Okay, I turned off another another Chrome tab. So that should open up my platform a little bit more. But I don't know. I think I froze there for just a second, which was really weird because it was when I was closing a Chrome tab, which was weird. So that should have actually not frozen me. But I should be, if my connection was unstable, it should be better now. But I want to give you an idea of what LinkedIn Live audio events looks like. And I'm going to, hang on just a second. I'm going to bring up a tab and I'm going to screen share with you. I want you to see this because I know a friend of mine is live on audio right now. And I want to find this Chrome tab for LinkedIn, and I'm going to share. And tell me if you can see that, okay? And here's what I want you. You are on my LinkedIn feed. I'm going to go over to look in notifications. And here you will see this is how you're seeing LinkedIn Live audio events. And I need to pull this out so I can see all of you on live. Yes, and I am still over here as well. But I want you to see that, and look, oh my, Nancy Merlin, you can see here too. I'm looking over at StreamYard. Nancy Merlin is live. Yes, she is. But Mary Fain Brandt is who I wanted you to pay attention to. I knew Mary was going to be live on audio, so I wanted to show you this. So let's say, okay, let's click on it and see what's going on. I want you to see what it looks like. And I'm covering this up, but that's because I'm going to join here in just a second. This is a little meta, isn't it? It's me inside of me. And so Mary put together a banner image, which you would want to do for a LinkedIn Live event that you scheduled in advance as well. But when you schedule these audio events, you'll want to put up a banner image, and you can see all the people who are attending. And then it lets other people who are attending your audio event actually share it. They can share it in a post, send a private message to somebody. They can copy a link. They can go over to Twitter and share it, or Facebook to share it. So LinkedIn is making it very, very easy. Some other things, report this event. So yeah, that's only if there's something wrong with it. You have something that you're objecting to. And it shows the speaker, Mary Fain Brandt, here. And then you can see down here at the bottom, which very interesting. It won't. Maybe if I raise my screen a little bit. Let me try to, I think StreamYard might be cutting this off, but way down here at the bottom, you can see my cursor down here where it says posted by. Mary put a comment in there 4 days ago when she scheduled this and said, hey folks, are you curious about LinkedIn audio events? Want to check one out? So she started the conversation. Then you can see the event right here. And this is where I'm able to join. So let me click join, and I want you to see what this looks like.
Space for all of us. So Marshall,
I agree. I never got into the whole Clubhouse thing, so I've been waiting for LinkedIn to do it because they announced it so long ago. So
you and me, sister, totally been waiting. I jumped over on Clubhouse.
You can probably hear that.
No, I was waiting for it to happen here. Oh my gosh, Nancy's in the house, Angela, Marshall.
I absolutely love social audio. I think it's a fantastic tool for effectively communicating and connecting with people. And so whether it's Clubhouse or I just hosted my first room on Twitter Spaces, and we had like 750 people come in, which was I was like, is that good? Is that bad? And apparently that's a good thing. So I mean, what I'm really discovering is social audio is best for folks who have a real authentic way of
okay, that should have given you an idea what it's like. I want to show you. I just muted, and I am not live as one of the presenters. So these are the people that are speaking up here in this top part. You can see this. And I'm going to let me take down my banner image. That may be what is.
Thanks so much for hosting this space.
Yeah, I just want to have people figure out what works.
When it reset, I didn't even realize this.
I did forget to mention that.
Realize this. That when I reset, that's so weird. It took away my banner image and put their own up. That's funny. That was when I was having a signal issue. How weird! It reset itself. But let me take that away because I want you. There we go. I want you to be able to see this whole section. And it was blocked because of StreamYard's
I think it's an opportunity to learn more.
And I'm still screen sharing, so I want you to see something. This is again in the window, and
I
Mary
also like
is
it
hosting
because
it.
I don't
These
have
are
to do
people
my
she
hair and
has
makeup
called
if I
up to
don't
be
want to.
presenters. You can see the
I'm
title of
totally
the
with
audio
you
event
there.
here.
I am
And just a
too,
moment ago, you
waiting.
heard them
I
talking.
mean,
I just
it's
turned up
easy for
the
guys. You get
volume on
up,
my computer so you could
wash
hear
your
it
hair, maybe brush it
that
back.
way.
I don't know,
And
maybe you don't even
also
wash it.
then,
But
these
for
are the people
women,
who
I
are
feel like
attending. So obviously,
it's
I'm
a
still
process,
attending. I
and
clicked
I
in to
like doing
attend.
my hair and
I
makeup, but not
can,
all
as
the
you
time.
saw, I
Not all
can do a
the
couple
time.
things.
I
If
think
I want to
also as
invite
well,
somebody, I click on invite, and my
I'm
private messaging, all
I
my
think it's
people I've
also
been
as well
private
as I
messaging
have
with,
two
or
small
I could
children
add somebody
and
that's
I'm in
here.
this world in
And
the
if
office.
I want to react to
So
something
to
that's
be
been
on
said,
audio,
I could add
I don't have
any
to
of
worry
these
about
emojis. I'm not
them
going to do it right
crashing
now because
in
I don't know what she's talking about, and it might be
and
weird if all of a
kind of
sudden there was a
invading the
thumbs up
party, as it were.
on my
Yeah,
my
I think
avatar.
it just is another
And
avenue.
again,
The
all these
other
people are
thing
the
that
ones
I like
listening.
about
What's
LinkedIn
all if
audio,
I
you guys,
want
is
to be
because it's
called
two ways,
to be
right? It's not
one
just
of the
I have
speakers,
my live show and
then
I'm
what I would do
speaking
is
and,
I would
you know,
raise my
coming
hand, and you
into
can see
this
down in the bottom
feels more
right hand corner. So
organic,
you
more
can see that I
natural,
can
where we're
click
having
on
a
raise to
conversation,
raise my
right,
hand.
Marshall?
At some point, depending on
Oh,
what the structure
totally,
of
Mary.
this live
I
stream is,
totally
Mary might
agree.
say, Nancy, you know, I'm going to
It's
make you a
a
presenter.
different way to
And I would all of a
communicate.
sudden
And
be
like
one of
Alex
these
mentioned,
people. The
you
other
got the
thing, and the nice
opportunity
thing is,
to
people
show a
aren't
little
worried
bit
about
of
how
your
they're dressed. They're not
personality.
worried that their
And even
lighting
if
is a
it's
little harsh
audio,
from
and
all three
obviously
windows
opens
today because
the
it is very
forum for
sunny. So
discussion.
things
So
are a little harsh
really
in
happy
here.
to be here. This is my very first time doing
They
this.
don't have to worry about any of
Oh,
that.
well,
They're
thank you
just
for
having a
joining. I
conversation.
appreciate you
So
taking the
this tool might
time.
be
And
good for you
again,
if
for
you just
anyone
have
who's
something
just
you want
joining
to
us,
share.
this is a
If
safe
you want
space
to build
to
community,
figure out
and so
how
you
to
let
use
people know this
LinkedIn
is going to
audio. It's
happen,
in beta
and
test,
all of a sudden people who are
and we're
interested in
all
your
figuring
topic
it out.
gather
I
and
know
start
that
talking about this. I would recommend
I'm
putting
the
a time
host.
frame
I
to it
wish we could have a
because
co-host. We don't
on
have the
Clubhouse,
option to
people have
have a
gone on and
co-host.
on
So if
for an
something were to
hour,
happen,
2 hours,
you
and
know,
people
and I
you start to
couldn't
get a
start it,
reputation. No,
y'all
I'm
would
not going
just
to
be
go.
sitting there.
I'm not
It
going to
would
go to
not open up
Nancy's
the room.
live
The
audio event
beautiful
because
thing
it just
is,
goes on and
and
on
this
and on. And
happened to
who has
me
time for that?
accidentally,
So I would say give it a
I
time frame,
left
much like
my
I
home
recommend to my
audio
clients. Make
room
sure
last
your
week by
podcast
accident.
episodes are nice and tight and
I
not too
could
long
easily
because
get
who
back
has
into
time?
it.
This,
So
this
if
is the
anybody
same thing,
wants to come
even
up
though
on
they are
stage
both,
just to
I mean,
practice,
they
what is
can
that?
be both
You
be
know, what
passive
clicks do you
listening
have to do?
experiences.
Just
You
raise
don't
your
have to
hand if
take
you're
part
in
in
the audience
podcasts, and
listening,
you don't
and I will
have
bring
to
you
go
up
up
on
as a
stage.
presenter in LinkedIn Live
Hey,
audio
Mary,
events
I'm
either.
kind of
You can
curious. We
just
have a
listen, but still,
laughing
I would
emoji
still be
here.
very
When are we going to
careful.
see that
And you
on
can
regular?
see when I was testing the
Right? I need that.
share, when
I
I
need
did
that a
the
lot
invite link
because
and all
I
of my
like to
people came
laugh
up
at
over here,
things, and so
this
I
is
always
what
have to,
happened.
pull up
Join
my
to
other
listen, and it
emoji.
gave the link
Just
for it.
found it.
So at any given time, if you are
Yeah, I
listening
love
to one
it.
of these LinkedIn
Because
Live
the
events, or
more
if someone's
I'm
listening to
happy
yours,
to
they can share it with personally,
reactions down
privately
there,
with
and
anyone they want. I'll close that because
started, you
I'm not
can use
going
those
to.
to really pull your audience.
But I just wanted to give you an idea for that. And if you want to leave, then all you have to do, and you can see me
Clubhouse
again,
that I think is
my
really
mouse is down
lacking.
here. You just click leave. And so that's it. And let me stop screen sharing here so that I can come back to you. All right, I'm back. And like I said, the lighting in here is it's very hazy today because it's very bright. So I apologize for that. Kind of a stickler for lighting. I know you all have heard me talk about that a lot. Audio and lighting. But I just wanted you to know, I wanted to talk about audio and video and voice and video, and just to remind you that these are very important. Again, you right now, you have to have creator mode turned on to have access to live LinkedIn live audio events, but watch for it. If you don't have creator mode turned on, you want to think about that, because a lot of the people who I serve, what happens on creator mode, and LinkedIn created it for people who create a lot of content. And what happens is that if you don't have a lot of content that you have created, then it's all of a sudden going to reconfigure your profile so that your featured section, your activity is going to be pushed up above your about section. If you are not a prolific content creator, I would much rather have your clients and other interested parties see your about section to learn your credentials. So I think we have to talk about that versus just turning it on to get access to this. There's some things that I think you want to think about. So I just wanted to bring that up to you. I want you to continue to pay attention to LinkedIn Live video, because and that here it is. It's right there. Again, LinkedIn Live video, you haven't missed the window. It doesn't matter that I've had it for 2 years. I was one of the lucky ones that got access to it early, but they're still rolling it out. I still see people mention every day that, oh, why can't I get access to LinkedIn Live video? Or, you know what? I just got LinkedIn Live video. And so you haven't missed an opportunity. I think just being strategic about it and knowing what you're doing is important. And to take my own medicine, because I said it's important to keep things tight. I can see that I'm at 24 minutes and 40 seconds, 24:40. So I will respect your time and make sure that I don't have anything that I need to respond here. But I just want to thank you, Mary, for being here. I appreciate you, as I always have, and miss you. If we have not connected before, I just wanted to let you know that this is how to get a hold of me, or in the comments, Nancy@merlinmarketing.com. And then merlinmarketing.com is my website, and LinkedIn Course for Lawyers is my hybrid online and live LinkedIn course that's going to be opening within the next couple of weeks. So feel free to go to that or ask me about it. I'm happy to send you information. And that's me, Merlin Marketing and Social Media, and LinkedIn Course for Lawyers. But again, we've just been talking about LinkedIn audio and video and what's up with them and how I'd like for you to pay attention to them. And I just want you to be aware. All right, take care. It's so nice to see all of you. Let me know if you're watching the replay too. All right, take care. Bye.